Hello and welcome to our latest Business Spotlight interview. Today I am delighted to be joined by Nuala Campbell, Managing Director of Titanic FX here in Belfast. Hello Nuala, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you. Glad to be here and great to have a chat with you.
Good. Really glad to have you on today. And why don't you share with us who you are, what you do, and for how long you've been doing it?
Okay, I'm Nuala Campbell, and as you mentioned, I am Managing Director of Titanic FX. We are a special effects company which deal import and export special effects makeup products or prop making products, costume products. But alongside of that, we also manufacture our own products too, which are exported. We have retailers all around the world for those. Alongside that, I also run a property business as well. So I have in lockdown, when I found myself with loads of time, as everyone kind of did, or most people did, I started renovating houses, and from that, the media kind of picked up on some of it, and now I've been hired out for doing interior design as well. So I have my hands full with both kind of businesses, but both are great because they're creative, and if it wasn't creative, I don't know what I would do.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. I didn't realize about the property, so that's fantastic as well. Good.
Yeah.
So coming back to the FX business, who's your ideal customer in that then?
The good thing about my business is that we tailor for even the single artist sitting at home who does things as a hobby, or whether they're a student learning special effects, right up to production companies where we supply, like, thousands of kilos of silicone to productions and paints and things like that. So we have a broad customer base with all different budgets. So it gives us quite a wide range of people that we can tailor to.
Fantastic. And what's been your biggest learning since starting out as a business owner?
Oh my goodness. Time management, I suppose. How to I didn't realize that I was going to have to be so strict with myself to take time off and to manage. Time management in the business is easy. Having to take that time off to look after myself outside of the business is what I find the hardest thing to do. And I thought it would have been the other way around. But I think when you're a business owner, you're self-employed, or you're an entrepreneur, switching off is the biggest struggle. Well, for me and a lot of people I know anyway.
Yeah. No, I've heard that before. Yeah, some people just go all the time. They're always on. They're always switched on.
Yeah.
So and it's so important that you take time out and refresh yourself and refocus.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think whenever I struggle most at doing that, and I'm not taking enough time off from business, is actually it has a detrimental effect to my business, where I'll have a burnout, and my business, my sales will slow down, turnover will slow down, and I also become like disinterested in it. So it's actually beneficial to the business to have that time off, to have that self-care, because I just come back so much more motivated and wanting to get stuck in. So I think that was the biggest surprise and learning curve for me in business, was that.
Brilliant share, and so important for everybody and all of our viewers. So when you were growing up, is this something that you always wanted to do, have your own business?
When I was growing up, I wanted to marry a rich lawyer who drove a limousine, but that didn't really work out. So I just had to do all that myself instead, not that I drive a limousine. No, well, I think whenever I was growing up, I actually, when I left school, I went to study business management and strategy, not because I wanted to, but because I was the shyest person ever. And my brother was going to do the same course. There's a year in between us, and he was going to do this course in college. And I thought, oh, I'll do that because then I'll know somebody in the class. Turns out that I was actually really good at the business side and the strategy and the finance and stuff like that. But really what I wanted to do was something more creative and hands-on, because I always loved making things and doing things with my hands.
Yeah.
So, but it worked out well. It worked out in my favor, and I ended up getting into the creative world anyway. So I suppose it was beneficial to have all that business knowledge to actually have my own business in the creative world.
Fantastic. And I guess with the whole production film industry expansion here in Belfast and Northern Ireland, that you've joined that probably at the right time. Has that been a good boost to you?
It has, yes. And we're also one of the only people that really supply to the film industry for this type of product in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the best businesses are whenever you're filling a gap in the market, not necessarily when you see somebody else doing something and you go, oh, that looks successful, let me try that.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're genuinely meeting this gap that, people are struggling with. So yeah, it's worked really well that we're kind of catering to the film industry here too, because then we ship worldwide and look after productions worldwide as well. And a lot of the productions that come in aren't necessarily with local people. So if they get a good service from us, it doesn't matter if they're then going to Italy or France or America or anywhere in the Middle East. If they've had a good experience with us, it doesn't matter that we're in Northern Ireland, they'll still come back and order from us, because we kind of serve worldwide. So it has really helped with introductions and with different people, heads of departments and things like that in the film industry.
That's fantastic. And obviously you're providing an excellent product with great customer service, that you're getting that repeat business and also recommendations.
Yeah, I should have you as a salesperson. That sounded great.
So who inspires you in business?
I think one of the biggest people would be, and I mean, she's so well known, Deborah Meaden. You'll know her on Dragon's Den. But after reading her book, I kind of had this not newfound appreciation, because I always did have an appreciation for her. I think she's great at championing like women's rights and equality and things like that. But also she's so environmentally driven too, and looking after the environment, animals, all that sort of thing. And she takes all of her love for that and puts it into business as well. So I also know that she's led by her head, but she's also very much led by her gut and her heart as well, which I'm a big softie. So I, do that as well. Somebody can come to me with like the best, tell me that they've got the exact thing that I need. But if my gut says no, then I listen to it,
Sure.
So I love her kind of way of doing business and the ethos behind how she does business.
Excellent. Yeah, no, she is inspirational, isn't she?
Yeah,
that's great.
she is.
Well, apart from her book that you read, do you have any other sort of favorite books or podcasts that you would turn to for motivation?
Well, she actually has a great podcast, the Big Green Money Show, but also I love Stephen Bartlett's podcast. It's been going a long time now. The Diary of a CEO, and also TED Business as well. They have great episodes on there too. So when I can get the headspace, I do listen to it. So usually you'll catch me in the car listening to somebody talking about business instead of like singing Jabba or something that it should be.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
So what does the future look like for you, for Titanic FX, and I guess what would you see as the main challenges going forward?
The future for me is what I love about my business is that I have this freedom to develop products. I've developed a number of products that, I mean, I'm not in R&D or like a chemist in any sort of way, but I've developed a number of products by a lot of trial and error. And I love that sort of thing. And I love kind of coming up with new solutions. So we do have, I had developed a range of special effects brushes, which are thankfully known worldwide now, and they kind of solve a problem of, in our industry, we use a lot of heavy chemicals, and so the other brushes that people would use fall apart. So I developed a glue that holds all our bristles. It doesn't break down in solvents, so they're really hard wearing, and so they're very, very popular in the special effects industry, and in that can be used for makeup as well, but people don't tend to dip their makeup brushes in solvents.
Sure.
So I'm constantly working on that. I'm constantly kind of trying to solve new problems with new brushes and things like that. So lots of new product development in the line for Titanic FX.
Fantastic. Oh, it sounds awesome. Really, really good. And this is a great learning for me to have,
there you go.
to have such creativity and excellence just right here on our own doorstep. It's great. That's great. So what would you say to anyone who's thinking of going into business for themselves?
Well, I get a lot of people, because I work in the creative industries as well, and I actively work on shows too. Don't ask me where I get the time for doing all these things, but hey ho, I do. And so I get a lot of people who would even want to come in and assist me on shows, or just send me messages and say, like, how do I get started? What do I do? Yeah. And although, so we spoke about it earlier, was where I kind of fell into business because I was too shy to do what I wanted to do at the time. I actually think that was one of the biggest things, the best things that I could have done to become a business owner or an entrepreneur. Is it's all well and good, especially in the creative industries, to having that creativity and drive to make things and create things. Yeah. But if you don't understand the fundamentals of how business works, how profit is earned and maintained and forecasted and all of that, even just a basic knowledge of it, you don't have to go like, a degree into it to actually get an understanding of business. But if you generally don't have an understanding of how business works, then you're only going to get so far. So I always say to people that go and do a course in business, whether it's at night or you want to go and do it first to really understand all the different areas of it. And then try and use your learning to bring your creativity in to actually make a living at that.
Yeah. No, excellent advice, Nuala. Really, really good advice. So speaking about advice then, if we were able to rewind that clock and you're back to the 18-year-old Nuala, what is the best advice you would give to that 18-year-old?
I think it would be to follow what my gut is telling me, not to listen so much to what other people tell me that I should do. Because I used to put a lot of emphasis and trust in information that I was being given by other people, and it didn't always work out. And I always, well, not always, but most of the time went back to doing the thing that I thought I should have done in the first place, and that worked. So to myself, I would say to maybe just, that means trusting in myself more, and trusting in my own vision of what I want to achieve, because nobody else really understands fully your vision that you might have for yourself.
Right, true. No, excellent. Well, no, look, I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, out of your several businesses, and spending time with us today. And really, thank you very much indeed.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
You're welcome, and wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you.